Another circular number 13 has been issued to clarify issues and questions on TDS under section 194 capital S on virtual digital assets transfer. Let us understand the issues, queries which have been clarified and the way forward on taxation on virtual digital assets, which was introduced via the Finance Act of 2022. Virtual digital assets are information, codes, tokens, etc., whose value can be digitally represented and which have inherent value. If these three conditions are qualified by any asset, then it can qualify as a virtual digital assets. It could mean to be a cryptocurrency, a non-fungible token, even a gift card. If it qualifies these three conditions, it can be considered to be as a virtual digital assets. And on transfer of these virtual digital assets by any person to a resident, there would apply a TDS under 194S at the rate of 1% on earlier of credit or payment by any mode. Even if the payment is by cash or by kind or partly by cash or in kind, the TDS would apply, just like we have seen under section 194 capital R on benefits or perquisites. It can be in cash or in kind, but if it is in kind, then it has to be ensured that the TDS has been paid to the government first before the consideration is paid to the seller. There are certain exceptions to this TDS, and a threshold limit of 50,000 for the full year would be applicable on individuals or HUF which business or profession turnover of less than 1 crore or 50 lakhs respectively. For other persons who are making payment for transfer of virtual digital assets, the threshold limit where no TDS would apply would be only rupees 10,000 for the full financial year. This computation of 50,000 or 10,000 would start from 1st of April 2022 and on any payments by any mode or credits made post 1st July 2022. This has been clarified by this circular. Few important things which show us the way forward have been clarified. On a question whether TDS on sale of goods under 194Q would be applicable or 194S would be applicable on virtual digital assets, the CBDT is silent. It has specifically stated it does not want to go into the merits of the case, but has clarified that 194S would be applicable and not 194Q. Maybe this is an indication that there would soon be a clarity on GST applicability on transfer of virtual digital assets, which commonly we call as cryptocurrency. Further, it has been notified under 194S that in case 194O, that is a TDS by e-commerce operators, and 194S, if both would apply, then it would be 194S which would apply over 194O, that is TDS on e-commerce operators. No TDS under 194S would be applicable on GST. No TDS under 194S would be applicable on the service charges on transfer of VDAs. there may be a TDS under 194J on these service charges, which has not been clarified herein because it is not within the ambit of this circular. This circular is only to clarify on 194S. Now, a major burden has been cast under 194S on crypto or VDA exchanges. In case the seller or the broker is the owner of a VDA which is being sold through a exchange, then it is the exchange who would deduct the TDS. In case a broker is a mere intermediary, even then there can be an agreement between the exchange and the broker that the exchange would be liable to deduct and pay the TDS under 194S as has been clarified in this circular. The exchange would require to fill in form 26 QF to disclose all these transactions. In case the exchange is buying the VDA, then of course the exchange is liable to deduct the TDS, as the primary responsibility of deducting TDS under 194S is of the buyer of the VDA. One important question which was asked and which has been clarified in detail by this circular and which would be very useful in implementing this TDS under 194S is an exchange of one VDA for other. Say VDA A is being exchanged by A with VDA B by B for one another. So would the TDS apply on both the transactions or not? It is being clarified in detail that yes, VDA A would be transferred to B, and B being the purchaser of VDA A would deduct TDS on making payment for VDA A to A, and vice versa, A would deduct TDS while making a payment on VDA B to B. Now the question is, what would be the TDS in? Would it be in INR? Would it be in VDA A and VDA B terms? Or would it be in primary VDA terms? Now, they have also clarified that in case there are two non-primary VDAs, say Monero is being exchanged for Deso, which are two non-primary VDAs for one another. So 1% of Monero would be deducted and 1% of Deso would be deducted. However, within one day, that is from 12 AM in the morning to 11:59 PM in the evening, these would be accumulated and be converted to primary VDAs like Bitcoins, etc. And at 12 midnight, these would be converted and crystallized as INR. Time sheets and time stamps would be maintained so that these time limits are adhered to and can be audited, and thereafter the TDS has to be paid on value as determined in INR at 12 midnight on these accumulated transactions during the day and converted from non-primary to primary VDA. In case of transfer of VDAs through payment gateways, the question is whether the payment gateways would deduct the TDS being the payers for the VDA or would it be the original buyers? It has been clarified that the original buyers would be deducting the TDS at 1% on just transfers, and payment gateways would not be required to deduct a TDS. However, very important for payment gateways to note that they would require a declaration that such TDS has been deposited by the buyers on such payments made for such VDA. So friends, these are very important guidelines on taxation of VDAs and TDS on VDAs in India. This is the start of the taxation on VDAs in India. We all know that various other queries are there. Most important, whether the loss on one transaction on VDA can be adjusted with the loss on profit on another transaction in VDA itself. Whether mining cost would be included in the cost of acquisition and is deductible as a cost of acquisition under section 115 BBH. So these are important questions which would be answered going forward. However, from 1st July it is important to implement 194S in letter and in spirit, especially by the exchanges and by the buyers of VDAs. Thank you very much.